Good morning, chat. Good morning, AO Rock. Good morning, Sam. Good morning, Daisy. Thank you, Sam and Daisy, for subscribing again. Thank you very, very much. That's very kind of you. Good morning from London. It is starting to be a sunny London. When I first got here, it was quite overcast. It's a nice, chilly 12 degrees, which is rather nice after some of the heat wave we've been having here in the UK. All we need now is a drop of rain. This morning I'm going to take you for a walk along the north bank of the Thames, only part way, and then I'm going to walk through the city of London, up round by the Guildhall, that area, ultimately finishing somewhere around like Tate Modern or somewhere like that. Some of it you might have seen before, but there's be a lot of new spots that you haven't seen before. So good morning to you all. Thank you for joining me again this morning. Apologise for not streaming last week. Had a few personal issues I had to deal with, but that's all sorted now, and things are getting better. Oh. How is everyone this morning? All bright and breezy? I'm struggling because my doctor's put me on a new sleeping pattern to try and get me out of this 4 AM wake-up call that I've been having since I retired. And it's not very good. Now, you're wondering where I am starting today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see where we are. Bear with me for a minute while I set up, and then we'll start walking. There's a nice view for you. Right, as you can see, we're by Tower Bridge in London, and just to the left of me here is HMS Belfast. Oh. Hopefully I've sorted my camera out this time. Apologise for the last stream, it was a bit wibbly wobbly all over the place because I didn't have the balancing on. Yeah, there's a nice sunrise for you this morning. Tower Bridge in the background. We're going to be walking over the bridge to the other side, and then I'm going to walk along the north bank. Point out a few things to you as I go along. I can't see your name. Who it is? You're right. It is a nice scene this morning. It's a beautiful morning. It's hard to tell what is better, whether sunrises are better or sunsets are better. I think they both have their own beauty. But yes, that's a nice start of the morning. So we're going to walk North Bank. Over there is Tower Bridge, Tower London. I'll be walking in front of that, and I shall take you all the way up river. And at some point I will cut back inland and we'll go and have a look at some buildings as well. This monstrosity that you see being constructed here is what was the Gherkin. Was it the Gherkin they called it? I think it was the Gherkin they called it. No, it wasn't the Gherkin, it was the Mayor of London's town hall place. I can't remember what they called it now. But it had a terrible name amongst architects because of the shape of it. I won't repeat it on stream. Walked today will be about, I don't know, about 2 hours, probably tops. Wow, Captain Sam and Daisy, thank you very much for being consistent viewers. That's an honour, it really is an honour. I can see now why streamers, because I haven't been a member, a follower of chats for a long time. I now see why streamers get quite attached to people who have these long streaks. It's like loyalty. It's like a community building. It's nice. I must admit, I never thought I'd have people following me. Haven't been a long time viewer. I've only been viewing. I've been like a viewer. I don't know what you call it, chat follower. I've only been doing that for 2 years, 2.5 years now. Probably 2.5 years now. Oh, that's a beautiful view, isn't it? Oh, that's a fantastic view. Oh. Oh, it's not often get opening shots like that. Wow. You can only wonder what it might have been like over there back in the sailing ship days. Do you know if there was ships all over the River Thames back then? Yes, all along the River Thames, especially the side I'm on now, which is now, if I look back, is now all modernised. But along this side and also along the other side and down towards that way, you can still see some down towards that way. Well, warehouses just line the Thames, and boats used to come up here and unload all their wares and everything. And I'll show you a place when I get the other side, which was a central point for it all. But if you look just the other side of the bridge, the other side of the bridge there, you can look over towards, and it's an area called St Catherine's Dock. And that was one of the docks in London where ships would come in and unload their trade from around the world. The buildings you see there now, which have now been converted to residential apartments, they used to be warehouses, and the ships would moor up alongside, or the boats would moor up alongside, and all the stuff would be hauled and put in the warehouses and stored for distribution around the country. I might walk a little bit off track, just to show you some of the warehouses. If I remember correctly, there's some that have been converted. You're welcome, Daisy. That's very kind of you to say so. I don't do much research into it because a lot of it's stored in this ageing brain of mine, and it kind of is stuck in there, and these streams are sort of bringing it out of me. Ah yes, Sam, spin-off of eras. Yeah, well, I admire Era very, very much. I admire her streams. I think she does phenomenally well with her streams. And having watched her and supported her for 2 years, I've learnt a lot, I've seen a lot. So if there are resemblances to my streams and her streams, it's because it's her influence, her inspiration has got me this way. Now here's the back of some of these warehouses I was talking about. You can see bridges linking across and everything, and this is the back side. The other side we were against the river. And as you can see, they're quite tall and quite airy. I'll take a little walk down. Wasn't planning going this way, but it won't hurt. Just to show you. So most of these now have been converted. Usually the ground floor are retail outlets, and then all above is what is now apartments. I'll come through here, take you through this alleyway, hopefully keep signal. Well, Sam, really, I didn't even know it existed. I'd never heard of Twitch until 2 years ago. This is the other side. Across the river there, I don't know if you can see it because it's a bit dark at the moment, but there's an entrance to St Catherine's Dock, which is one way in there. There's Tower Bridge again behind us. Have a lovely view. But if you look down this side, Up here, these are all the warehouses that used to be here, and the ships used to moor up alongside and unload, and there'd be cranes and hoists and God knows what loading up through into the various levels of the warehouses. And the same the other side, and the whole of the Thames from here down towards Greenwich was like that, and there were several docks off of the area. I'll go back the other way. Yeah, so I never knew what Twitch was. I never heard of streaming, and I didn't realise such things existed. I knew blogging existed, or vlogging, whatever you want to call it, existed on YouTube, because I used to watch it at YouTube. In fact, one of my ex-work colleagues does vlogging of his mountain trips. And so I knew that existed, but I never realised live broadcasting existed. That's how I discovered it. I can't remember what made me discover it. I think I just found the channel. I just found this in Twitch. I thought, oh, what's this? I had a look at it. And then I discovered Sarah Bridgewater was cycling Britain at the time. I thought, oh, this sounds interesting. So then I tuned into it and I just got hooked. Just got hooked on the old IRL stuff. The gaming side's never interested me. Hopefully the image is staying stabilised. I think I've got that sorted out at last. My last stream was atrocious. I started watching it. It's the only stream I've started to watch. I've not watched any of my streams. And I started watching a bit of it and I just couldn't carry on. It was just wobbly all over the place. Now you can visit Tower Bridge. Tower Bridge is open to the public during the day. You can go inside, you can go down, you see a mock-up of the workings of how the bridge raises and everything. They don't let you in the actual works, but there's a very, very good mock-up. And if you look online, you can actually find when the bridge opens. I'll be here and see the bridge opens. I'm trying to plan a day when I can come down here so I can show you all it when it's open. Right, we're now just going to walk over the bridge. Oh. Sun coming up to our right, and boy is it warm already. Oh. Well, what a difference. And at that, bunch of skyscrapers over there is the financial district of London, City of London. I'm not actually going to go right into that part of it. I'm going to go more to the west side of it and show you. So I'm going to show you the Guildhall. Excuse me. Hero, good morning. Oh, you missed the very beginning, I think. You would have seen a lovely sunrise over Tower Bridge. Looked beautiful. How are you? What are you doing up this so late for you? Oh. This is a nice bridge, isn't it? It's not as old as it looks. Everyone thinks the bridge is very old. It was only in the 1990s it was built. But what you see is just stone fascia. The actual thing is just a complete iron girder bridge. There are images of it being built online. I'm showing you a bit more of the bridge this time because I think I just walked over it last time. Now here, these sections here have the raising sections. There's two sections either side, and when they lift they part in the middle and raise up, and they go almost vertical as well. So that there are book times when it opens. I think today's 2:30ish, I think. All right. But I do intend to come down here one morning and be, I think 10:30 is one of the earliest ones they do when it opens. I should come down here for that. The great pointy thing sticking up there is the Shard. Tallest building in the UK. If you notice, I'm walking in the middle more. Unfortunately, even though I can scale the sides of mountains and hills and ain't no issue at all, on man-made structures, for some reason, my brain just doesn't allow me to stand the height. So I get slightly dizzy sometimes.
He was like, I'm done.
For those who don't know, Ira is a wonderful streamer. She does IR streaming, streams wonderful content, goes around the world. I think she's done 63 countries at the moment, and 82 cities this year. Impressive figures. But her streams are very, very enjoyable, relaxed, chilled, and if you're lucky, you'll catch her singing. And when she sings, she sings like an angel. Absolutely beautiful singing. So if you want a nice stream to watch, a lovely person with a lot of character, then go and follow Ira. She's fantastic. She's the only reason why I'm here. Her inspiration has got me streaming. So, right. I did walk over here last time, and I think I took you more in towards the city centre around Edenhall that way. Well, I'm not going that way today. I'm going to drop down onto the river and walk the river. Typo in my shout out. Oh yes, so there is. Oh, sorry, Ira. Didn't mean to do that. Well, thank you, Sam. I'm going to have to get some mods. Because I'm finding it extremely difficult to do things while on the move. That's better. Sorry, Ira, I do apologise. Oh, that's a shame, I can't get through there. Why can't I get through there? It's all shut up. Oh, looks like I'm going to have to go up around by the maybe not. I found it. I found the way through. Good morning, Mark. No way through. Oh, that's a shame. I'm going to have to go back up and over the bridge. Damn. Ooh. Thank you, Mark, for following. Very kind of you. For Mark, I just started a walk through London. Started the other side of the River Thames. For some reason, it's all shut off down there. Oh. I'm gonna have to go around the long way. Just to the left here, it's a huge fortification. There's the Tower of London. The oldest part of it is the middle, which you can't quite see because the roof is in the way, but there's a four-towered cornered keep in the middle, which is where the crown jewels are held. It's interesting to see all the modern skyscrapers in the background. Tower above the old Tower of London, the old with the new. That's confused me, that why that place was shut off down the bottom. That means I can't show you the Traitor's Gate now. There's a gate which leads into the River Thames from the Tower of London, and it was built so they could bring prisoners in without having to go through a normal entrance. And it's quite it's labelled up and it's quite famous, but unfortunately I won't be showing you that now. As you can see, you get a lot of modern buildings built in London now. Looks like it's turning into another warm, sunny day. Yes, Sierra. Take care, sleep well, and I'll catch up when you're VOD when I'm going home on the train later, and then I'll catch you when you stream next. Take care. Big hugs. Take care, Ara. Bye. This chat if you want to follow someone that's really great at streaming. Shows so much content in our streams, it's just great to watch. I mean, yesterday's stream, bit of everything, music, streaming out and walking out in the wilds. It's really good, and the beautiful sunset she shows us at times is unbelievable. So I highly recommend you go and follow Ira, she's great. You see that big funny shaped building that's sticking up above the older buildings there. That when that was built, it didn't have any blinds on the front curving edge, and when the sun come up, the sun would hit it and focus on the other side of the riverbank, and any vehicle that was in the way it would melt the tyres, believe it or not. So they had to put a blind down the front of it. How that got past the architects and the architects never spotted that, I don't know. Shard appearing again in the background. That fort, yeah, it's built up over the ages. It never started originally. Originally, it was just like the central, which I can't quite see from here. What they call the White Tower now. That was the central keep, and that was the first part. And it's been built up through the times of Henry VIII and Queen Elizabeth I and that. Originally as a fortification, and ended up being a place where the most condemned prisoners were held. Even royalty prisoners were held here. I may be wrong, but I think Queen Mary was held here. And there's the princes as well. I think the Prince Edward and something else, they were held here. Back in the history of got these steps here. Oh, it's warming up. It's amazing how once that sun gets up, it warms up so quick. I was thinking of bringing a fleece today as well. Oh, glad I didn't. I'm going to get back down to the waterfront. Well, it's a tourist attraction now, the Tower of London. It's open to tourists. A lot of tourists come here. But as I say, the main purpose of it now is basically it's one of the most secure places there is, and that's where they keep the royal jewels, all the crown jewels and everything, which you can. As a member of the public, you can go and pay to visit and see them. I mean, I've seen them twice, I think, and they are something to be seen. They do stand out. As you can see, there's a pier here called the Tower of Millennium Pier. You can get Uber boats, and you can also get other boats from here. The Uber boat is the Transport for London's boat, and to go on that, you just literally tap in, get on the boat, get off where you want, tap out, just like you do on the Underground. And you go up and down the river. I'll take you on it one day. I will take a trip down. That's the Shard, London Bridge in the distance. That noise, there's a guy blowing, because of the hot weather we've been having, there's a lot of leaves on the ground, because the trees are shedding their leaves very early. Normally they don't shed them until September, end of September time, when autumn's supposed to start, but because of the heat, a lot of leaves have been falling on the ground, so he's just blowing them around with, I don't know what you call it, one of these mechanical blowers, and then collects them up. I suppose it's easier than using a broom. But this area here is called Sugar Quay. Originally it was Wall Quay, where all the wall used to come in. The ships used to come in more up here and unload all the wool, but then it turned into Sugar Quay because Tate and Lyle bought the area out. And all the sugar cane from the Caribbean used to come in here. But by the beginning of the 20th century, 1899, I think, I remember right, it was just used as a general tying up point for shipping that were waiting for doing something. But that there is HMS Belfast. I spoke to you before about that. It fought in World War II. It was used in D-Day landings. The Shard over there, which I spoke to you earlier about, that was built 2012. I actually saw that being built because I used to work in a location quite close to that, and I could look out the window and literally see it being built in the stages. And it's 95 stories high. I think about 310 metres high, 1,016 feet high. And believe it or not, there's 36 different elevators in there to get you to the various levels. Again, you can visit that. There's an observation tower up there, observation point up there, one of the floors. Up there. Or if you've got the money, you can stay there in the hotel. There's a hotel in there. And if you're even that more wealthier, you can actually buy an apartment in there. I dread to think how much it costs though. Yeah, I've never understood leaf blowers, Daisy. It seems like because it doesn't seem as efficient as a broom does. How old are the names of the location? I mean, they're ancient. Some of these names are ancient. I mean, the Sugar Key goes back. Well, it was a walkie originally. That was 1377. That's when it first started. So you can imagine. Of course, London became, because of the Romans, London became a trade centre for all sorts of things. And as transport improved, so did the trade in London. I mean, ships would come up here. And shipping trade died out after World War II, probably late 50s, early 60s, because of train travel and flights as well. Aircraft could get goods and that quicker to the country, fresher. And so the trade of shipping stuff died down. I mean, you've got a lot of shipping trade still today, but that's because a lot of it is containerised. A lot of food is containerised so it can be refrigerated and so it can last ages. So all this would be wharves and where the ships would tie up and unload their trade. This impressive building here is Custom House. This is the third one on the site, 2 others burnt down. Custom houses, you find them in locations where goods and wares come into a country, and it's where taxes are collected, duty import taxes and etc, etc. And this, in case of this one, for goods that were coming into the Port of London. This itself was built in 1821. This contraption here is one of the many cranes that have been left in situ, which would have been used for unloading barges and ships and the like. As you can see, there's still some tugs and boats on the river. There's not a lot of industry in this part of the River Thames itself. (1066). Well, 1066, the big Fire of London, Great Fire of London, encompassed what is the City of London. Don't think of London as it is today. The City of London was quite small then. How do I explain it? I did pass the location of the fire on one of my streams. But it did spread. It was quite extensive because at the time a lot of the buildings were timber and thatched buildings, so it caught quite well. There's a lot of places which I will show you later on probably, churches, etc., things like that, which were burnt down and rebuilt because of the fire in London. But it didn't extend much further than the city of London itself at the time, because beyond that there was nothing. It was fields or common land, etc., etc. Lovely morning, lovely, lovely. Yeah, I might be repeating myself on some of the things I've mentioned before in my streams. It's just something I like doing. I like walking around everywhere, and places I walk, I just see things and I think, oh, what was that? Or what's the history behind that? And it's just fascinating. And I mean, today it's easier to look things up when you're on the move. You can look it up on the internet, on the phone, and things like that. If I could do that now, I would, but unfortunately I haven't got enough spare hands. Pudding Lane, that's right, AO Rock. Pudding Lane's not far from here, actually. I showed you the monument on one of my streams, I can't remember how many streams ago it was, and the monument was erected, and it's the height of it is the distance from where the fire started in Pudding Lane to the point of where the monument is. I don't think we'll see the monument this morning. I'm going to spin the camera around and show you this lovely building. How's that? It's impressive, isn't it? Now that's the old Billingsgate Market. At the time it was one of the world's largest fish markets. Of course, fish and that used to be brought in here. So one of the trades back there was fishmongering, and this place would be full of fishmongers selling fish, selling all the fish that they bought, and selling it on to other traders who then take it around the country to sell. This closed in 1982, and today it's a big event centre. There's a huge hall inside, it's massive, it's a lovely building. It is Mark, it's an impressive building, yes Daisy, very impressive. The jets you can hear going over above me, which you might just see right now. They're not landing at Heathrow or Gatwick, they're going to land at City Airport, which is literally just down the river from me here at the Docklands. I might take you around the Docklands one day, it's very modern down here though. Now, talking of modern, you've got this gorgeous building here, and then slap bang next to it, you get this modern piece of architecture. I've got no idea, no clue as to what it is. I should have to look up online this one, or what style it is. It's something I used to follow architecture a lot back in the 1980s. There was a great TV programme called Architecture at the Crossroads I used to watch. And I used to learn the style, but I just can't remember the styles now. There's so many different styles, and a lot of mixtures of styles. This Mildov Zeppelins did reach London. London was bombed during the First World War, yes, believe it or not. Yes, Dave, that's right. Oh yeah, I can remember all the cars back from when I was a kid. So I used to know a lot about cars back then. It's ironic really, because I've grown up and I've never driven. I've not learnt to drive or anything. And I think by doing that I've saved myself a fortune in my life. I've managed to save up and do things that I wouldn't probably never been able to do if I owned a car. It's so expensive having a car. and I don't miss it. I cope without it quite easily, quite well. I kind of wish this streaming lark used to exist around in the old days when I was younger, and I could have caught onto it. Because streamers of today, they've got a great thing now whereby they can record the history of what's around them now and as it changes throughout their lives. Unfortunately, I can't do that. There's a lot of things I remember, but I have got no recorded material of it, which would have been nice to compare it with today. This is London Bridge. There are many incarnations of London Bridge on this spot. This one was done in the 1960s, replaced the one which the Americans bought and took to the late, I can't even say the name of the place now, in America, in the middle of a desert. Brick by brick they took it down. A Morris Traveller, oh that's old. Blimey. I don't think Morris exists anymore. Morris, I think, merged with Austin, didn't they? Oh right, interesting, Daisy. I always remember my granddad's car. He had a Ford Angular Popular. There's a nice lime green colour. Very fancy looking car. He never held a licence. Right up until the day he died, he never held a licence. I don't know how he got away with it, but he never once held a licence. Never took a driving test. The religious building tower you see over there, religious building tower, what am I saying? That's Southwark Cathedral. That belongs to the Southwark area. Southwark is a borough of London. That's what London is mainly made up of now, is boroughs. The City of London is the main, is actual London. I missed a building out. The building you see in now, which I wish I could zoom in from, but for some reason I can't zoom in with this camera, is Fishmonger's Hall. It was built in 1835. It's headquarters of the worshipful company of fishmongers. There are what they call livery companies in London, and they're all to do with trades, and that one is in particular says Fishmongers, which is located there because of Billingsgate Market being located nearby. I will show you a couple more of them today actually. These liveries. Livery is basically an organisation for professional bodies. It's an old term. The bridge you see there where the train's going across, I know it very well because I used to be involved with that bridge. I used to work on the railway. It's Cannon Street Railway Bridge. It was a lot smaller than that when it originally was built in 1866. It's been widened, strengthened since. It's not as busy as it was with trains like it used to be. It used to be quite busy trains, a lot of people going in from work from Kent and Sussex. They were coming to Cannon Street for their office work. But since COVID and that's sort of people work from home, so the rush hours aren't what they are, and the train service is nothing like it was. Citroen 2CVs. Wow. Yeah. They're weird because the doors, I think if I remember right, the doors open backwards at the front. Oh, okay, Daisy, take care of yourself. Thanks for popping in. Nice of you to sit down and have a cup of coffee and watch me. It's very kind of you. Thank you very much for your sub. Take care. Not to the top, but just up to the bridge level. And you used to be able to walk across that bridge, and on the other side there'd be steps taking you down again. And at both sides of the bridge there was this, but it was closed down. It was closed down in the earlier 20th century. Oh shit! That's the signal. Are we back? Are we back, chat? Apologies for that. I've just walked under Cannon Street railway station and the signal was less than clear. So hopefully we're back. Seems to have a picture. Good, good. Yeah, I had to walk under Cannon Street and it was pretty dark under there. I'm surprised we kept the signal that long. The bridge here is Southwark Bridge. That's the second Southwark Bridge here. The first bridge they built was to alleviate the traffic across London Bridge. But when they built it, they decided to put a toll gate on it. As a consequence, no one used it. The bridge fell into disrepair, and then the local city council took it over, rebuilt it, make it toll free, and it was used as a diversion route for traffic off of London Bridge. Today it's very restricted on weight, but it's still open to traffic. I'm going to walk away from the river now. Hello Tank Girl, welcome on in, nice to see you. Yeah, sorry it's a bit hitchy. It should be alright now, I've got full signal. I actually changed my setup again because my last stream I did in London was awful. I lost signal completely at one point. Right. This building here is another one of these livery buildings. This is the Worshipful Company of Vintners, and they've been on this site since 1446. And the original 17th century hall is still in that building. It's on the inside, and the new building has been built round it. Vintners, for those that don't know, are people who import wine. That was another wine trade back in the days. Oh, welcome on in, August Strain. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming in and saying hi. As you can see, we're in the city of London because it's very busy. A lot of people appearing now. The church you see there is St James Garlic Hive Church, built in 1717. As you can see, it's got bricked up windows. Now, I don't know if you remember me mentioning it in past streams about window tax and why they bricked windows up to save money on window tax. Well, that doesn't apply in this case. The reason why it was bricked up because the wall and the foundations weren't safe, so they bricked the windows up to provide extra support the church. So traffic's insane. Some churches you can say, I don't know about that one in particular. A lot of churches in the UK are shut to the public, unfortunately, because of vandalism, etc. And there's not as many people that practice religion as there used to be in this country. And a lot of them, as I showed when I was in Cambridge the other week, a lot of them are converted and they use as cafes basically during the day, which is a nice way to go and spend a cuppa sitting in the middle of a church looking at the stained glass windows. Quite nice. Yes, the morning commute started. Yes, unfortunately there's always those that spoil it for everyone. And of course churches don't get a lot of money from anywhere to fund for repairs and that, so their answer is to shut it down. And if they were to open them to the public to pay to go in, they wouldn't get the number of people, especially the ones in the remote areas, wouldn't get enough people in to raise the funds. I'm walking up towards the Guildhall. I'll show you the Guildhall. It's quite a nice building to see. Quite impressive. Nice traditional English pub over there. Some rare old buildings amongst. Rare old buildings amongst the new. A lot of this area was bombed during World War II, so there's a lot of new buildings. It's hard to keep track of the buildings around here actually, because office buildings go up, they tear them down, new office buildings go up, and then they get torn down, and then more, and it's just hard to keep track. It's mining field, yeah, I've shown that on stream a couple of times. That's One of my starting points is Trafalgar Square. I like starting from there because it's quite central and you go all different directions from there. And St Martin's in Fields is just alongside there, along with the National Portrait Gallery. Yes, the London Blitz. It's destroyed a lot of buildings in London. In fact, the area all around St Paul's was almost entirely flattened. Yet St Paul's wasn't touched. We had one instance of a firebomb hitting the roof, which they managed to put out in time. But the cathedral itself, St Paul's Cathedral, wasn't touched by any bombs, but all around it was devastated. And the reason being was because it was, back in them days, didn't have things like GPS or radar to tell you where you were. So the German aircraft used to have landmarks to pinpoint where they were, and St Paul's was the landmark to say they were at London. So that's why they never actually bombed it. That in the distance is the Guildhall. We'll go in now and have a look at it in a minute, around that area. Yes, I do show a lot of different places of London. As I often say to the community, if you visit London, don't just stay on the tourist traps, don't just stick on the tourist lines. Take a side street, go up and wander up the side street. You'll be surprised what you see on the side streets. And I've shown quite a few places that tourists never see, that they're missing out on. South of the river, yeah. Well, I used to work at London Bridge, and from where I was at London Bridge, all the area there where the residential buildings are was all rebuilt because that area was heavily bombed. This church you see here is St Lawrence Jury Church, built in 1677 after the Great Fire of London because it burnt down the original church here. And the person involved in building that was Sir Christopher Wren, who built, or involved in designing and building St Paul's Cathedral. In fact, Sir Christopher Wren was involved in a lot of the churches around this area and rebuilt them after the Great Fire of London. Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper was in East London. I've not walked that area, I'll have to do that. This here is the Guildhall. And the Guildhall is the municipal buildings of the City of London. That's where all the work done. The majority of it is now done in the modern 1970s incarnation alongside it there. But the Guildhall itself was built in the 15th century. It used to have two wings on either side of it, but they were pulled down because of the state they were in. So the modern 1970, I think 1975 it was built, that was replaced one of the wings. That's where a lot of the major offices right now are for the City of London. as you go around to this side, there is now a Guildhall art gallery, and that is where, well, that was where the east wing was, which unfortunately that was pulled down as well. But I think that's not bad for a modern design. That's more 1990s, I believe. That for a 70s, don't know what sort of architecture you call that, but it's got its own unique look to it anyway. But I know what I prefer. I like the old stuff. Right. Good morning, Mama Swig. Welcome on in. Thank you, and it's nice to see you here. It's always nice to see you here. It's nice of you to pop in, especially when you've got a long journey ahead of you soon. I started at Tower Bridge this morning. I walked along the river. Not doing too bad. The stream seems a lot steadier today. I've managed to iron out a few issues I had last time. And this stretch of the road here is a mixture of old and new. This is Basinghall Avenue, and that building there is the part of the Guildhall. So, as you can see, they've married in the new art gallery in amongst with it. Brutalist architecture, is that what it is? I don't quite know what that is, the 1975 Guildhall bit. As you can see, this is quite modern around here. This is seeing a lot of regeneration. Again, this area was all heavily bombed during World War II, and a lot of it remained flattened well into the early 1960s. Obviously, because the country just couldn't afford to build anything. It was still cash strapped because of the money spent during the wars. That there is obviously an Art Deco building in the 1930s, tell by the style of that. A lot of the area through there, which I'm showing you now on camera, goes towards the Barbican Centre, which is a huge residential office space, which is very modernised. I haven't seen that building before here. Last time I walked around here, that wasn't here, so that's quite new. Need Ashley on here from Architects TV. She'll be able to tell us everything about this. She'd know what we're looking at. Very clever person. Actually an architect. I'm surprised to see you up, Mama Swig. It's must be past midnight where you are. I even had the error pop in earlier on. What a sleeping schedule. Unbelievable. I think I'll be dead if I slept like that. Unfortunately, the building there, another one of mine, unfortunate hits. That's another one of these another one of these livery buildings. This is Girdler's Hall. It's HQ of the Worshipful Company of Girdlers. A girdler was someone who specialised in making belts and girdles. That present building is 1961. It's strange to find a little tiny building like that in the middle of all this modern architecture. But it replaced a previous building which was one of those bombed in 1940, also heavily damaged in the Great Fire of London. As you can see, there's a lot of people wandering around here because there's a lot of offices and they're all coming to work. Obviously, office times are now flexible, so it's no longer 9 to 5, it's whatever I think they feel like doing nowadays. 11:51. Oh, that's not too bad. I struggle beyond 10 o'clock. My doctor's just told me to start going to bed at 11 to try and cure my 4 a.m. wake up time. They tell me to go to bed at 11 o'clock at night. And when I wake up at 4, because I know I always do, and he said, just lay in bed, don't look at any light, just keep it dark, and then just go. You should drop off again, and eventually you'll sleep past that 4 o'clock. And I must admit, it started working. I mean, it hasn't this morning. I was up early this morning. But I struggle past 10 o'clock at night. This area of London's called Moorgate. I don't quite know what sort of work goes on around in these buildings, but there's a lot of office buildings, so I don't know what jobs are involved, what they do. It's not quite the financial district. The new Moorgate Elizabeth Line station. Elizabeth Line is a new line that they created across London. It shoots right through the centre of London. It's quite a quick way of getting to Heathrow nowadays. It used to take an hour and 20 minutes to get to Heathrow. It's a lot quicker now by using the Elizabeth Line. And this here is the old Moorgate underground station, which has appeared in a lot of films. I'm taking you off the main road now. Walking into an area called Finsbury Circus. Finsbury Circus used to be lands belonged to the Manor of Finsbury many years ago. And in 1812 they created this circus here. A circus being a circle. And built residential buildings along around it, but all the residential buildings that were here are all gone. And now it's these buildings that were replaced here in 1921, most of them. Finsbury House there. Again, all office spaces. And in the middle, like most of the squares in London, in this case it being a circle, they have these ornamental gardens which are cared for and paid for by the people that reside around it. So I should imagine, in the case of this one, all the firms and companies that work in the buildings around here, I think they might pay some sort of tax towards it for the upkeep of it. As you can see, they're quite ornamental buildings around here. Unfortunately, I can't take you into the central gardens itself because they're not open until 8 o'clock. Oh, a tad early. They might be open soon. London seems to be in the midst of a regeneration at the moment. A lot of things are covered up and being renovated. Take you this way. I was going to go around the circus that way, but unfortunately I'm not going to walk under scaffolding because there's nothing to see under scaffolding.
Yes, I didn't want the pay-as-you-go thing for that. I'm going to walk on this road now back towards more. And I'll walk down Queen Victoria Street and eventually walk towards Tate Modern.
This little monument you see in the middle here, it's quite an unusual monument. It serves a purpose. It's a monument to George Dance the Younger, who designed the circus, the Finsbury Circus, but it's actually a ventilator for the nearby Moorgate Underground station. In 1987 there was a big fire at King's Cross, a well-known fire, it killed many people because of lack of ventilation, and the fire ripped through the station. Many people were trapped, and because of that they looked at other underground stations and they decided they needed more ventilation in them, and that's one there they designed but cleverly hidden. Not sure my chat's working. Oh, there is. Yes, there is. Ah, thank you, Mama Swig. For one off a minute, I thought my chat had stopped working. Yeah, it was a devastating fire, that. Very bad fire. I remember it. In fact, the 1980s was quite a bad time for disasters involving transport in the UK.
So, you know, you can cope with it.
This road is Moorgate. It's lined with a lot of banks. We're moving into the financial district of London. Swiss Bank here on the left of me. First time I've seen this street with people. I used to walk up and down this street quite a bit when I used to work. I used to come home on a Sunday morning. There was no trains to get me across London, so I used to have to walk across London to get a train home. And these streets would be deserted. A lot of these buildings, again, I keep mentioning it were bombed during World War II. Completely gutted, but the fronts, the fascias being so heavily built, remained in place. And so what they would do was they would build a new building completely behind the fascia, but keep the fascia. So consequently, you've still got some of these old fascias here, but behind it is a totally new, modern building. Another bank across there. The banks everywhere. Bank to the right of me, bank there. It's the Bank of China. Well, the most important bank for this country. There's this building here. This is the Bank of England. Very impressive structure. Very heavily fortified. As you can see, it's a very substantially built building, Bank of England. Well, take care, Mama Swig. Have a safe journey. Take care of yourself. Thanks for popping in. Very kind of you. Bye, Mama Swig. Take care. Marketplace, are you from the UK? Something, don't think you are. This huge building here is London's Mansion House. Lord Mayor of London's residence. Very impressive building. You have old buildings like that and you come here and you go on the corner and there's a massive great modern complex. This old building here on the left is London's Magistrates Court. Again for the City of London. So the City of London is the true London, but everything else around it are boroughs. Originally parishes, originally little villages. So like you go to Trafalgar Square, although everyone calls it London, it's actually in the parish of Westminster. That's where it is, and it's now the borough of Westminster. And that's how London's built up over time. It's just spread out and engulfed smaller communities to make one big, huge metropolitan. And that's the same as any city in the world, any big city. Paris is the same. No doubt Berlin and places like that are all the same. It's just where they spread out. They take over smaller villages. Lou, welcome on here. Thank you for saying hello. You join us here in London. Presently walking the City of London. Encountering lots of work going on, which is annoying. I might lose you for a second here, chap. See how it goes. Signal seems to be staying up. I'll walk it as quick as I can. Signal's all right, that's good. Another one of these churches hidden away amongst the buildings in London. This is what's saying about the spread of London, where it's spread around and encompassed parishes around it. It engulfed these churches, and not these churches that remain. This is St Mary, Old Mary Church. I believe it's 17th century. It's again another one of these rebuilt ones because it burnt down originally in the Great Fire of London. And again it was Sir Christopher Wren who rebuilt it. And now it's just a public cafe. You can go in there and have a cup of coffee, and I can actually smell the coffee from here, so I mind you, it might be this place here I'm smelling the coffee from. Now if you want to come and visit the Bank of England and Mansion and want to see it for yourselves, don't go to that underground station, don't go to Mansion House. You're over a 10-minute walk from there. I advise you to go to Bank Underground Station, which is much closer. It's right next to it. Yes, coffee, nice. I've had my cup of coffee for the day. It's one of the first things I have when I wake up in the morning. More to rinse my mouth out because of dryness overnight. I'm sleeping, and no doubt in my case snoring. Nice display of flowers along here. Oh, smell nice too. Cool, that's an unusual smell for London. Scented flowers. Yeah, I always have a shot of espresso in the morning, first thing. I wake up, straight to the kitchen, straight to the machine, put the espresso on, have espresso down that. It's just getting rid of that after night tasting in my mouth, basically. Not to wake up, I have no trouble waking up. I'm a morning person. Don't do well too late at night. I tend to get very tired easy. I don't quite know how long I've been streaming for, actually. Probably about an hour, 20, hour and a half. It's turned out to be another beautiful day in London, despite what people think. Despite what people think, London's not a rainy city at all. People tend to think, oh, it pours, I'll be rain and rain, London, UK, rain, rain, rain. When I tell you we've had no rain for over 3 months. Right, another church here. This is St Nicholas Co-Abbey, an abbey rather than a church, I suppose. I don't know what the difference is, to be honest. Lovely stained glass windows in there. You need to go inside to see them at their best because you get the sunlight shining through them. This has been here since the 1600s. Again, it was burnt down in the Fire of London and had to be rebuilt. And again, Sir Christopher Wren was the one who was involved in the rebuilding of it. As you can see, a lot of the buildings here are new. This is the area around St Paul's that I was telling you about earlier on. During World War II, it was completely flattened and remained that way much into the 60s before any money could be found to rebuild the area. It was once known for its 1970s architecture. And people used to complain about it didn't marry in with St Paul's and all that, and even the present king, when he was Prince Charles, got involved in it, saying how bad the architecture was in this area. It has improved a bit. Of course, Sir Christopher Wren was famous for one particular building that everyone knows of, and that's it there, St Paul's Cathedral. I've been around there several times in my streams, but I'm going to go another way now. And while I've got the lights up, I'm going to quickly cross. And we're going to walk across the Wibbly Wobbly Bridge, as it's known locally. The Millennium Bridge, famous for the fact when it first opened, so many people were walking across it, the motion of people walking across it, marching across basically, caused it to wobble quite badly actually. So they shut it down immediately, and then they had to put special balances on the underneath of the bridge. And now it's no longer wobbles, but it's gained the name of the Wibbly Wobbly Bridge. Hi Andy, welcome on in. It's nice to see you. See you a lot in the Era's channel.
Sorry?
If you like my content, I suggest you go and follow Era_Abba on Twitch. Her streams, she goes around the world visiting countries. She's done 63 countries so far in total, and she's done 82 cities this year. So if you like that sort of, not this content of seeing people walk around cities and showing you not necessarily the tourist spots but other spots as well, I highly recommend her channel. Nutella Crepe, that's a nice name. Been to London multiple times in summer, autumn. Never had rain either. Yes, everyone says this place is a wet country, and the image is there's always a gentleman walking around carrying umbrellas. Oh, you won't see many umbrellas at the moment. Building directly opposite the bridge here is the Tate Modern art gallery now. Originally it was a power station, 1930s power station. You can tell basically by the sort of Art Deco style of it. It was converted into a museum. Lots of it is free and open to the public, but any special exhibitions in there you have to pay to see. That's looking downstream towards Southwark Bridge, Cannon Street Station, and right in the distance Tower Bridge, which is where we started this morning. If I go upstream, you see the railway bridge right in front of us is Blackfriars Railway Bridge, and it's the only station in London that is actually above the River Thames. You can enter both sides of that.
I keep whenever I find a water.
You can even walk across that bridge without going on and catch a train. You just tap in one end, tap out the other end, and you don't get charged a penny. Look back at St Paul's. The building looks like a fortification. That is a Scientology building. Some religious cult. I think Tom Cruise belongs to it, if I remember right. Yes, Ireland gets all the rain all the time, you're right. They call England green and pleasant land, but it's not that case at the moment. It's quite yellow and pleasant land, more like the grasses have all dried out. There's so much intense heat today. Standing amongst the trees there is the Globe Theatre, which is a reconstruction of the original Globe Theatre that was there. It's a playhouse basically. It's a round auditorium where people stand, and in the middle is like a stage where plays of Shakespeare are generally held. So the original one was burnt down. Yes, the views are great round here. I love it. Love it. What a better way to start a day off than a nice little walk around London. Nothing too strenuous, just a casual walk. Chatting to a few nice people on chat. View of St Paul's. As you can see, there's a photographer up there. Quite often people go there to take photographs across that bridge. It's quite a view. You often find when you put in St Paul's Cathedral on images on Google, that's what it comes up with. So we're now on the south bank of the Thames. The other side was where we walked earlier. Yes, no, Tyler. It's fairly quiet at the moment because it's what is it? It's 8:30 in the morning. So it's I mean, years ago, this time of day would be heaving with people going to work. As I said earlier on, there is no longer people going to work 9 to 5. A lot of people work from home, so the rush hour of London doesn't start anymore. What happens now is, as the time goes on, by the time it reaches 9 o'clock, all the tourists are waking up, and this place will be heaving with tourists later on. Attractions like the Tate Modern there to my left isn't open yet. But once all the attractions start opening up and the tourists start coming out, this place will be full of people. The biggest problem I find in London at the moment is the blooming cyclists. They're everywhere. Seem to be a law unto themselves. What the hell's this piece of art here? It's called I Follow You to the End. Well, I'm bringing you over here, chat, because I'm getting to the point now where I'm going to end my stream. I've done an hour and a half, I think, walking. See if I can find somewhere to sit. Oh, 8:30. Just bear with me a minute, chat. I'm just going to put everything down. Oops. You're working and lurking, that's nice, it's good. I wish I could have done that when I was at work. There we go. This is me, chat. This is the person that's been guiding you around London. Hope you've had a good time, hope you've enjoyed my walk. I must admit I've enjoyed it very well. I'm glad you love the vibe. I hope to see you in future streams. It's been good. Mark, it's nice to see you pop in. As you're a regular on Era's channel, it's nice to see people from other communities come in and see me. It's nice. I don't expect much. I'm just grateful for people coming in and watching this. I just walk and stream and let people know what's going on. Now let me see if I can find someone to raid. Going to stream manager. I'm trying to get used to everything. Yeah, I'm not used to. Find someone to raid. Oh, come on that one. Let's see. And Natalia, thank you for following. Mama Swig, thank you for subscribing. That's very kind of you. It's good. All right, here we go. Let's have a look. I'm trying. Here we go. Raider channel. No channels available to raid. That's not good. Well, it looks like, chat, I can't raid you anywhere because there's no channels of raid call to this. Let's have another look. Must be channels to raid. I can't. Can't be no one worth raiding. Yeah. No, you're right, there's no one. No one I know of that's. I'll tell you what. No, I won't. No. No. No one worth raiding. Oh dear. Oh well, chat. If that's the case, then I would just say thank you all for following. Thank you for being with me. Thank you to those who resubscribed. Daisy, thank you for resubscribing. Captain Sam, thank you for resubscribing. That's very kind of you. Thank you all for watching. I will say goodbye now, and I will see you in my next stream. Hopefully I'll do another stream towards the end of the week, I think. I'm hoping to do 2 streams at least a week, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, just to spread things out a bit. So I say goodbye.